My name is Tafadzwa Pasipanodya. I'm a partner at Foley Hoag, and I'm in the International Litigation and Arbitration Department. So I represent states against other states or against investors in international disputes. I first got interested in international law actually as a student in graduate school. I was doing a master's in public affairs and focusing on international development. And as a result of that, I was in Angola and working with people in a small enclave off the coast of Angola in Cabindo, who were trying to figure out ways to have the government take into account the concerns that they had, as well as problems that they had with oil companies that were in that area and causing a lot of pollution and so forth. And I was there with civil society members trying to help them figure out how to solve the problem. And at one point, somebody asked me, can you tell us about human rights? Because we think that's the tool that we have. That's a powerful tool that will help us fight the government and fight the oil companies. And I knew a little bit about international law and human rights, but really not enough to be able to help them. And I just felt, wow, this is a tool that could actually help me do the work that I want to do, which was international justice. So my first job out of law school was working at Foley Hoag, where I am right now. So I had summered at Foley Hoag as a 2L and loved the work that they were doing, which was essentially, again, trying to use the law as a tool for smaller states to fight bigger states, and states to respond to companies that in some ways are very powerful compared to the states that we represent. So that's where I started, and that's where I've been for the last 12 years. I love the variety of the work that we do. At the beginning of a case, there's a lot of fact-finding, going to countries and trying to get to know what the dispute is about, talking to people, which is the most inspiring part of the work that I do, because I get to understand the meaning of what I'm doing and what it means to other people and understand their side of the story after having heard what the claimants have said. So that's one of the most interesting parts of what I do, is just going to other countries and trying to get to understand what happened from the perspective of our clients. And then there's a part of writing, which I absolutely love as well, combining law with facts and just digging deep and trying to figure out how to shape those facts in a way that is reflecting the truth that we think serves our client, and using the law to do that. And then finally, there's usually the hearing phase, which is very stressful and intense, but really a thrilling time to finally bring the case to the tribunal member and give it your last best shot. But it's pretty intense, and you work long hours, but it's very fulfilling. It's a lot of teamwork and people coming together to serve this one purpose. I would advise law students to try to make the most of their time in law school to get experiences that help them understand what international law is, and try to get experiences that will help them stand out in interviews. And there really are a lot of opportunities, either with professors or with organizations within your city. But I just would recommend not entirely focusing on grades, as tempting as that is, and studying, but trying to get out there, see what the local bar is doing related to international law. Ask a professor if you can do a bit of research for them. All those experiences are really helpful in getting you into the door and then helping you succeed when you're there, because you've had experience actually applying international law just by research and doing memos and that kind of thing. Something else I always advise people who are interested in international law is to learn a language or get better in a language which you have some proficiency in, because that's been critical for me, being able to do work in other languages and go to other countries, and instead of using a translator, actually speak to people in that language. It makes such a difference. And even reviewing documents, we've actually won cases where, just because we could actually read the documents ourselves and not rely on the translation of the other side, we've been able to find things that have been dispositive. Yeah, the job has its challenges. For me right now, my challenge is just balancing life as a mom of 2 kids. My son is 7 and I have a daughter who's almost 5, and obviously want to spend a lot of time with them, but also love my job and the fact that it takes me to countries abroad and allows me to spend time in those countries. I was just on a trip to Southern Africa with another female partner who also is a mom of 2 kids, and we went to Eswatini, Mozambique, and South Africa, and it has its challenges. Not only was it challenging to leave our families for 11 days or so, but it was also challenging to think about what people were expecting. When they were thinking of international lawyers coming to help us, they weren't really thinking about people who look like me and her. But there we were, and we showed up, and one of the potential clients said, if we thought, this is interesting, 2 young women are coming to talk to us about how to solve our border dispute. So there is that understanding that people are not expecting someone to look like you to be doing the work that you do. But in a way, it usually serves us well, because they are so impressed when they see that we can do the work that we do, and they want to work with us. They want to hire us because they see that we're actually able to do the work that we do, despite the challenges that we have as moms or balancing. And I think they have an additional respect for us. So I find that it sometimes is an initial challenge, but we know this challenge is coming, and we give our best, and inevitably people realize that they had misconceptions that were not warranted.